All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're diving headfirst into the UK's construction industry scheme.
The CIS.
The CIS, exactly.
Right.
We want to help make sure you don't get tripped up by some of the finer points. You probably already know the basics, contractors deducting taxes from subcontractor payments, sending it straight to HMRC.
Right.
But are you making some common and costly mistakes?
Well, it's designed to simplify tax collection.
Right.
But you're right, the details can be pretty tricky.
Yeah, and the consequences can really impact your business relationships and reputation.
Exactly.
It's not just about the numbers.
Yeah.
So let's get to it. We've got a stack of resources here. Articles, legal updates, even some personal anecdotes from people in the field. Our goal is to highlight those top 5 CIS mistakes that businesses make and show you how to avoid them.
Yeah, and what's fascinating about these mistakes is they often stem from overlooking what seem like tiny little details, like take registration.
Yeah.
It's the foundation of CIS compliance. And yet so many businesses, they stumble right out of the gate.
It's like forgetting to put on your hard hat before you walk onto a site.
Exactly.
Not a good start.
No.
So let's talk about that. Why is incorrect registration so problematic?
Well, not registering or registering incorrectly with HMRC can have really serious consequences. We're talking fines.
Oh.
Project delays, even difficulty securing contracts in the future.
Wow.
It basically undermines your credibility as a legitimate business.
So how do you avoid this pitfall?
It's surprisingly straightforward. Register as soon as you start working in construction. And here's a pro tip. Keep your HMRC details updated. If you move, if you change your business structure, anything like that, let HMRC know.
Makes sense. It's like updating your contact info.
Exactly.
Small step to save you big headaches later on.
Right.
Okay, mistake number 2, failing to verify subcontractors.
Right.
This is where the relationship aspect comes in, right?
Oh, absolutely. Verifying subcontractors is crucial because it determines the correct tax deduction rate. And there's 3 rates, 0%,
Okay.
20%, and 30%. Using the wrong one can lead to financial issues for both you and your subcontractors.
I bet it could lead to some awkward conversations, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine you're a subcontractor and you find out you've been underpaid
Right.
because of an incorrect deduction
Yeah.
that could damage your reputation, those working relationships.
All important.
Yeah.
So luckily, HMRC provides a really user-friendly online verification tool.
Oh, good.
It takes just a few minutes to check, and it ensures that you're applying the correct deduction rates right from the start.
Good. So speaking of deduction rates, our research shows that getting those wrong is the 3rd most common mistake.
Yeah.
So can you elaborate a little bit on those rates and why using the right one is so important?
Yeah. Those 3 rates, 0, 20, and 30%, are based on a subcontractor's CIS status. And getting it wrong can significantly impact their take-home pay.
Right.
So let's say you deduct 30% when it should have been 20%. That's a 10% difference straight out of their pocket.
Yeah, that's a big deal, especially in a field where cash flow is so often tight.
Absolutely.
And I can imagine that would lead to disputes, delays in payments, strained relationships.
Absolutely right. And that's why staying updated on HMRC's guidelines for those deduction rates is so crucial.
Right.
They can, and they do, change, so you got to be in the know.
Okay, moving on to the 4th common mistake. Late or inaccurate monthly returns. This feels like the one where people get a little overwhelmed.
Understandably, staying on top of those monthly returns can feel like a juggling act, especially when you're busy managing projects and teams.
Yeah.
But missing the deadline or submitting inaccurate information,
Right.
it can have serious consequences.
So talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah.
What are these returns and what happens if you mess them up?
Yeah, so essentially it's a monthly check-in with HMRC.
Like reporting what you've paid your subcontractors, how much tax you've deducted. It's about transparency and accountability.
Okay.
And missing that deadline, which is the 19th of each month, can result in penalties. And inaccurate information can trigger an HMRC investigation, and nobody wants that.
Definitely not. How can we make this process less of a headache?
A few things. Block off time in your calendar specifically for your CIS tasks, including those monthly returns. Double-check your numbers. Accuracy is key here. And then explore accounting software.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing that a lot in our research.
Yeah.
Tell me more about how accounting software can be such a game changer for CIS compliance.
It can be a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Popular options like Xero and QuickBooks, they can automate so many of those tedious manual tasks, like calculating deductions and generating returns.
So it's not just about avoiding penalties, it's freeing up your time to focus on your business.
Exactly.
All right, we've got one more common mistake to cover, and I feel like this one might hit close to home for a lot of our listeners.
Oh.
I think you're right.
It's the one we overlook until it's too late.
Inadequate record keeping.
Yes. I feel personally attacked right now. Why is record keeping so important in the context of CIS?
It's essential for a couple of reasons. First, it's an HMRC requirement.
Okay.
You need to keep CIS records for at least 3 years.
Right.
But beyond that, it gives you a really clear picture of your business's finances, and this is crucial for making those informed decisions, spotting potential issues,
Right.
and demonstrating your compliance. You know, if HMRC comes knocking...
So it's not just about pleasing HMRC.
Right.
It's about running a smarter, more financially sound business.
Exactly.
Any tips for those of us who maybe struggle with organization?
The key is to find a system that works for you and stick to it. Whether you prefer digital or physical files, spreadsheets, or color-coded folders, make it a habit to update those records regularly.
It's like making your bed every morning.
Exactly.
It sets you up for a more organized, productive day.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered those top 5 CIS mistakes. I'm feeling more informed, but maybe a little bit nervous. What are the consequences of not playing by the rules?
Well, it's not just about financial penalties, although those can be pretty hefty.
Right.
Imagine this. You're bidding on a major project,
Okay.
but your history of CIS issues... Risky choice.
Right.
They go with someone else.
That's a tough lesson to learn. It's like getting a black mark on your record.
Yeah.
I can imagine it can be quite stressful, too.
Absolutely.
Constantly worrying about investigations, penalties.
Yeah. And that emotional toll is often overlooked.
Yeah.
It can create a lot of anxiety and strain relationships with subcontractors.
Makes sense.
Nobody wants to work in an environment where there's this constant fear of getting things wrong.
Yeah, so what's the takeaway here? How can we avoid those negative consequences and create a more positive, compliant, and frankly, less stressful CIS experience?
Well, first and foremost, knowledge is power. Make sure you and your team are up to date on the latest CIS regulations. HMRC's website is a great resource, and there are also workshops specifically for construction businesses.
And that accounting software we talked about,
Right.
it can be a really powerful tool
Absolutely.
for automating compliance tasks, reducing the risk of errors,
Yeah.
providing valuable insights into your CIS performance.
Absolutely.
And if you're feeling overwhelmed or uncertain about any aspect of CIS, don't hesitate to seek professional advice
Right.
from an accountant specializing in CIS.
Exactly. They can be your guide, help you navigate the complexities, and ensure you're on the right track.
Like a CIS Sherpa,
That's a great analogy.
guiding you through all those deadlines and regulations.
Exactly.
So speaking of journeys, let's shift gears a little bit and explore how we can transform CIS compliance from a burden into a strategic advantage.
Okay.
There's a lot of exciting ground to cover, so buckle up for part 2 of our CIS deep dive.
When we talk about compliance, it's easy to get caught up in the rules and regulations. But CIS, it impacts real people,
Right.
real businesses, and it really impacts relationships too.
It's like the difference between reading a blueprint and building a house.
Exactly.
There's so much more to it than lines on paper.
Absolutely.
It's about communication and trust.
That's where that strategic advantage comes in.
Okay.
When you embrace CIS compliance as a core value,
Right.
it can actually strengthen your relationships with subcontractors and boost your reputation in the industry.
It's like choosing to use sustainable materials.
Yeah.
You know, it might mean some adjustments, but ultimately it shows that you're committed to doing things the right way.
Precisely. And that message, it resonates with clients and subcontractors.
Right.
Think about it. When you're known as the contractor who takes compliance seriously,
Yeah.
who prioritizes fairness and transparency, you become a much more attractive partner.
Yeah, it's like a quality guarantee.
Yes.
People know they can trust you to do things by the book. And that gives you an edge, especially in a market where reputation is everything.
It's so important, and it can make it easier to attract and retain skilled subcontractors, too.
Right.
They want to work with contractors who value them, who pay them correctly, and operate ethically.
Absolutely. It's a win-win situation.
Right.
Compliant contractors, they attract reliable subcontractors, which leads to smoother projects, happier clients, and ultimately a more successful business.
Absolutely. And don't forget the peace of mind that comes with knowing you're doing things right.
Yeah.
You can focus on what you do best, building incredible projects without that worry about potential penalties or HMRC investigations.
That peace of mind is priceless.
It is.
Okay, we've talked about the benefits of compliance.
Yeah.
But what happens when things go wrong?
Hmm.
Despite our best efforts,
Sure.
mistakes happen.
Yeah.
What if we find ourselves facing a CIS investigation?
First of all, don't panic.
All right.
HMRC's primary goal is to make sure everyone's paying the right amount of tax. So if there's an investigation, it's likely due to a discrepancy or an error that needs to be addressed.
So it's not necessarily a sign that you've done something intentionally wrong.
Right.
It's more about making sure all the details are correct.
Exactly. Clarifying the details, making sure everything's in order.
Okay.
They'll usually contact you in writing, outlining the scope of the investigation, what documents or information they need.
Okay, so what kind of documents should we have ready, just in case?
This is where that meticulous record keeping pays off.
All right.
You'll want to gather all your CIS-related paperwork.
Okay.
This includes contracts with subcontractors, verification documents, payment statements, invoices.
Right. Don't forget your tax returns and any correspondence you've had with HMRC regarding CIS matters.
Got it. So well-organized filing system is crucial.
Absolutely. It makes the whole process much smoother and less stressful.
Makes sense. And remember, if you're feeling unsure or overwhelmed, it's always wise to seek professional advice from a tax specialist or an accountant who's experienced in CIS matters.
Right, so they can help you understand your rights,
Exactly.
prepare documentation,
Yeah.
represent you during the investigation.
They can be your advocate?
Yeah, like a translator
Yeah.
who could decode all the HMRC jargon.
Absolutely.
Make sure you're presenting your case effectively.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so we've covered what to do if you're facing an investigation.
Right.
But let's focus on the positives for a second.
Okay.
We touched on some benefits of being CIS compliant.
Yeah.
But can you go into a bit more detail about those?
Beyond avoiding penalties and investigations, CIS compliance can really boost your reputation.
Okay.
When you're known for doing things by the book, it signals to potential clients and subcontractors that you're trustworthy and professional.
Yeah, it's like a badge of honor.
It is.
It shows you're committed to being ethical and responsible, which can be a major selling point.
It can, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it can help you attract and retain those skilled subcontractors.
Right.
They're more likely to want to work with a compliant contractor because they know they'll be paid correctly and on time.
Right. It all comes back to creating that win-win situation.
Absolutely.
All right, so compliance brings peace of mind,
Yes.
a better reputation,
Uh-huh.
a happier workforce.
Yeah.
What else should we consider?
Let's not forget the positive impact on the construction industry as a whole.
Okay.
You know, when everyone plays by the rules,
Yeah.
it creates a fairer, more transparent system
Right.
that benefits everyone.
It levels the playing field,
Exactly.
creates a more professional environment for everyone involved.
Absolutely.
But compliance can sometimes feel like a burden, especially with the paperwork and deadlines.
Sure.
How can we shift that mindset and see it as more of an opportunity?
I love that question.
Yeah.
It's all about perspective.
Okay.
Instead of viewing CIS compliance as a chore, think of it as an investment in your business's success.
It's like exercise.
Exactly.
You can see it as a punishment or a way to improve your health.
Yeah, when you change your perspective, you change your whole experience.
Right.
So embracing CIS compliance as a core value
Yeah.
makes it an integral part of your business culture.
Okay, so a positive mindset is key.
Absolutely.
What else can we do to turn compliance into that strategic advantage? I remember reading about some innovative approaches using technology.
Absolutely. Technology can be a total game changer.
Right?
Think about those cloud-based platforms designed specifically for the construction industry.
Okay.
They can help you manage everything
Yeah.
from subcontractor verification and payment processing to record keeping.
Wow.
All in one place.
It's like having a digital assistant just for CIS.
Yes,
It can automate those tasks and reduce errors,
it can.
provide you with valuable insights into your data.
And the beauty of cloud-based solutions
Yeah.
is accessibility. You can access them from anywhere, anytime.
Right. Perfect for busy contractors who are always on the go.
Exactly.
It's like having your CIS toolkit right in your pocket.
Yes.
You can check a subcontractor's status, approve a payment review, records, all from your phone.
All from your phone, exactly.
So what other ways can we use technology to our advantage?
Imagine a seamless digital onboarding process for subcontractors.
Okay.
They could submit their information, get verified, and access all the necessary CIS documentation so easily and efficiently.
Like a red carpet for new subcontractor.
Exactly.
Makes them feel valued.
Yeah.
Streamlines the whole process.
It does.
What a way to build trust right from the start.
It is, absolutely. And then think about using technology to enhance transparency throughout a project.
Okay.
Imagine contractors giving subcontractors real-time access to payment information,
Okay.
deduction breakdowns, project updates.
Yeah, people, amazing. No more chasing down information or waiting for updates.
Exactly.
Everyone's in the loop.
They are.
Minimizes misunderstanding.
It does.
Creates a sense of partnership.
Exactly. It's about open communication, clear expectations, and shared responsibility.
Right.
And don't forget the power of data.
Oh.
These platforms can provide valuable insights into your CIS performance.
Right.
You can identify areas for improvement and make more informed business decisions.
It's like having a CIS consultant on call 24/7.
Yeah.
You can analyze your data, track your progress,
Right.
really optimize your approach.
Exactly. And as technology continues to evolve,
Yeah.
these platforms are only going to become more sophisticated and intuitive,
Yeah.
making CIS compliance even more manageable.
Sounds like the future of CIS compliance is bright.
It is.
Okay, so we've explored some of those technological tools.
Yeah.
How do we as individuals, as an industry, shift that overall perception of CIS from a burden to an opportunity?
Yeah.
There's a bit of a negative stigma
There is.
associated with compliance.
And changing that perception is crucial.
Okay.
It starts with education and an open dialogue. We need to highlight the positive aspects of CIS compliance.
So instead of focusing on the stick, we emphasize the carrot.
Exactly.
What are some of those key messages?
First, CIS compliance. It creates a fairer and more transparent construction industry,
Right.
benefiting everyone involved.
Okay.
Second, it can be a strategic advantage, helping businesses build stronger relationships, enhance their reputation, and attract and retain talent.
And it gives you that feeling of confidence and peace of mind.
It does.
Knowing you're doing things right
Absolutely.
allows you to focus on those building projects.
Exactly. And as technology continues to evolve,
Right.
compliance will become even more manageable and integrated into our everyday workflows.
So exciting time to be in the construction industry.
It is.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From the nitty-gritty of those deduction rates to the broader picture of compliance for the industry.
Absolutely. We've explored common mistakes, best practices,
Right.
innovative ways to use technology, and mindset shifts to turn compliance into a strategic advantage.
But most importantly, we've highlighted the power of collaboration and communication
Absolutely.
and a shared commitment to building a more ethical and sustainable construction industry.
I think that's key.
Okay, so before we wrap things up,
Yeah.
I'd love to get your thoughts on the future of CIS compliance. Where do you see all this heading?
Yeah, it feels like we're at a turning point. How we think about CIS compliance is changing.
I think so, yeah. It's not just about keeping HMRC happy. It's about making the whole industry better.
And technology is going to be key for that change, right? I'm thinking about a future where CIS stuff is just part of our project management systems, like built right in.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagine data going back and forth between contractors and subcontractors in real time. Payments just happening automatically, and those verification checks instant.
It'd be like having this CIS guardian angel,
Yeah.
making sure everything's good to go, smooth and compliant on every project. Love that. And think about all the time and resources that frees up. Businesses could really focus on doing new things and growing.
So CIS compliance wouldn't be this chore anymore. It'd help you move forward.
Exactly. But tech is just one piece. We need everyone to change how they see CIS. It shouldn't be a burden. It's something everyone's responsible for, and it can actually make you stand out from the competition.
Yeah, I love that idea. So everyone gets why CIS is important. Everyone works together to get it right. Real teamwork.
Right. That starts with contractors talking to their subcontractors, being clear about what CIS needs, giving them the help and information they need, and being open to questions. Real dialogue.
It's about trust and respect in those relationships.
Exactly. And as we move towards this way of working together, I think we'll see a lot more focus on teaching and training.
Right. So everyone in the industry knows how to deal with CIS properly.
And not just the technical stuff, but the ethics of it too. Why do the rules exist? How does being compliant affect everyone? Thinking about those bigger questions.
So it's not just checking off boxes. It's about doing things the right way in the construction industry.
Absolutely. And HMRC could get involved in this change, too. Maybe they could be more supportive, more collaborative.
Yeah, I've heard they might be thinking about new programs to encourage people to comply willingly and to give businesses advice and help.
That'd be great. It wouldn't be about punishing people. It'd be about working together and learning from each other.
Everyone wins. HMRC gets what they need, and businesses feel supported. They know how to do things right.
Exactly. And as this change happens, I think it'll spread through the whole industry.
I can picture it now. CIS compliance, it'll be something to be proud of, like a sign that you're professional, that you have integrity.
And that'll make people want to work in construction. More investment will come in. We'll see so much more creativity and growth.
So doing things right leads to success. And success makes you want to keep doing things right.
That's it. So as we finish up our deep dive into CIS, here's something to think about.
All right, what's the big takeaway?
CIS compliance, it's not a finish line. It's more like a journey. And you'll get the most out of it if you're positive, if you work together, and if you keep learning.
So well said. We've covered a lot, haven't we? From the fine print of deduction rates to what compliance means for the entire industry.
We talked about common mistakes, what to do, new tech, and how to change your mindset. It's been quite a journey.
But the most important part, I think, was talking about working together, communicating clearly, and making sure everyone's committed to a better way of doing things in construction.
Absolutely.
So as you continue on your own CIS journey, remember, you're not alone. There's tons of help out there, people to support you, and a whole community of professionals who want to do things right.
Yeah, that's so important.
So take on the challenge, stay in the know, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Great advice.
Remember, every step you take toward being CIS compliant makes your business stronger, more reliable, and more respected.
And it makes the whole construction industry stronger, too.
And that's a wrap on our CIS Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to check the show notes for links to all those resources we mentioned.
And until next time, happy building.